Everyone. So, over the last couple of weeks or so, folks have been talking about Dynamo, saying it can't scale very well within a firm. I don't believe that. I think it's mostly skill based and that folks don't know how to manage that tool. And they'll probably run into similar issues when they try to scale other automations as well. A lot of things that I think are missing when it comes to developing stuff in Dynamo is that it isn't typically tested across versions. It's also not properly tested within groups of people, so groups of people across the firm that might be working in different project types. And so you're not capturing all of those unique cases and then building that into your Dynamo script. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't use Dynamo for every situation. I may use a C# add-in. I may develop something in PyRevit. I may do it in Dynamo, or I may not do anything in Revit and use something within the cloud and build something over there, or an independent application. Saying that Dynamo can't scale is just a lack of skills, really. Because you can do it, and we've successfully done that at my firm. About 472 people that have ran the A script at least once, and then a total of 24,000 runs. And that's excluding a lot of the people that develop automations. So folks like me who are developing things and testing stuff, I exclude those numbers. So these are just designers. We also track like when they fail. So we have roughly a 90% success rate. And then what's nice about this graph is it just continues to get better because we can proactively monitor when it fails, reach out, see if we can improve it. And this is another thing that I think is missing at a lot of firms is they'll create Dynamo scripts and then there'll be a Dynamo graveyard of, all of these really cool automations. And by tracking it, you can be a little bit more proactive. You can reach out to the power users of it, see how it could be used better. You could also reach out to the disciplines, if it's a discipline script, see why they're not using it so that you can improve it. What's also nice is when you work with the people that are using your scripts, sometimes they have workarounds for working through minor things. And depending on the scale and how often they're used, you can have a conversation with them about what those are and then potentially build that into your automation. I definitely know Dynamo can be implemented and scaled. I've seen it at multiple firms that I've been at. I've also got a couple of videos that you can check out on my channel. I'll link them below if you want to take a look at them. There's also resources that I share as well. There's a combination of things that you should do when managing your Dynamo script. And what I try to do, and it's pretty simple things, is I try to test Dynamo scripts that I create in every single version of Revit that we have available to designers. I also go in there and test it for different conditions. So I'll usually work with a test group because I can't test everything myself. And they will test it on active projects. We'll find unique cases and then build that into it. That is how I would handle a PyRevit script or an add-in in Revit. With those, it's pretty successful because one of the biggest things and biggest reasons why you don't get people using some of these tools is that they don't work. And that's where if you build it correctly, you have a stable environment, which is really important. So making sure everybody is using the same packages, not necessarily limiting them to a set number of packages. So the firm I work for, we give everybody specific packages. They can add to that if they want at the local machine, but we've made them aware that if they do build anything with those, it won't scale unless we add those packages to our central location. But because everything is added to that central location, they're linked to it, then we know roughly everybody should experience Dynamo in the same way when they run, the same graph. It should work across any computer in our environment. And so with those couple things, or with those few things, so testing it in every version, getting a test group and working with them to test out the script in different projects, and then making sure you have a consistent environment across the entire firm is going to allow you to scale Dynamo quite a bit. Now, that's not everything, and the 2 videos that I've got will cover that in more detail. There's also some resources I've built out and I've shared for helping manage those as well. But anyways, I'd like to hear your thoughts and how you've experienced this at your firm, because I have not had those bad experiences that other folks have. And I think if you're open to, using the right tool in the right place, it just does a lot for you and the firm you work for. Because Dynamo does have a lot of benefits outside of just the automation. It's also very accessible. We have far more adoption of Dynamo developers than we do like PyRevit developers. So there's a lot more people jumping into Dynamo scripts, and I mean designers, engineers, jumping in there and tweaking and building Dynamo scripts. And that's really cool because that opens those designers and engineers to more computational thinking and kind of understanding how these problems work, and then how to communicate that to you if you're somebody that develops a lot of those things in your firm. So I definitely don't think it should be excluded or just kind of there and not being kind of strategically planned out and organized. You should plan for your Dynamo scripts, get it out there, communicate the value, work with teams, try to get other teams to talk about the value of it for their discipline, and really try to get it to where it's a snowball and it's just starting to get picked up everywhere. And it'll also help with adopting other tools as well, because if you treat Dynamo that way, organized, testing it, making sure things work, you're probably doing that in other environments as well, like PyRevit, and you'll have success there as well. So anyways, those 2 videos are below if you want to check them out. I'd love to hear your thoughts, what's your experience. Also, if you want to know how to track Dynamo, I do have a video that I will link below as well that kind of talks about it. But if you ever want to chat about those things and how to implement that at your firm, let me know. I've done it in various ways at different firms, and I can talk. There's a lot of ways we can get that information. So that's all I've got. Thanks a lot for watching, and I will see you in the next one.